Okay, so in this session, guys, I want to show you how to detect a red flag. Essentially, just making sure that when we're on our discovery calls, we're not allowing prospects to get to the pitch and hitting you with bullshit that you should have been able to identify and handle and lead to a close that has a lot less friction. So, every objection at the close was telegraphed in discovery. Right? The prospect told you exactly what was coming, you just didn't catch it. Right. So we're going to train your ear to detect red flags the moment they appear, decode what they really mean, and pre-handle them before they become deal killers. Right. So the red flag formula. The red flag, you need to find out the real meaning, pre-handle, prevent the objection. Super simple. So a really common red flag that we get, right? People saying they're giving that kind of just browsing, giving that signal like they're not serious, they're not committed. And it comes in different ways. I have four examples, right? So I just want to hear what you guys have to offer. That means I'm collecting information, not ready to decide. I'll use this to compare prices. This leads to let me think about it or ghosting, right? Red flag number two. I've been looking at a few different coaches. This means I'm in comparison mode. Price will be a factor. I'm not emotionally committed. Leads to I want to check my other coach first before making a decision. What's the price? If they ask that early, that means I'm screening based on budget. Value hasn't been established yet. This leads to that's more than what I was expecting. Usually people give you objections, think about it, blah, blah, blah. Just leads to that. That's usually the starting objection. And you're also going to get, can you send me info? When people send that, I'll basically, yeah, send me the information. I'll get back to you. They want to end the conversation without committing. Classic avoidance tactic. Then that leads to ghosting and they never respond to the follow-up. Okay. So, how do we handle this, right? We're going to dive deeper into what the framework is to handle this, but we need to understand exactly what we're handling first and how to identify it, right? So if you hear these statements of people just essentially saying to you, like, I want to hear what you guys have to say, or like, I am just like they're in non-committal, just research mode. If you get that understanding, then the objection you're gonna get is think about it, right? So you need to focus on how can you pre-handle this so they stop thinking that they have time to just go out and search and they start moving with urgency. So if a lead says money's a bit tight right now, usually they can be quite honest, they'll be upfront, and they might say that during the discovery, like, oh yeah, it's been a lot's been going on right now, money's a bit tight. They're pre-framing an excuse, testing if you'll lower the price without them asking. This leads to the lead saying, I just can't swing it now. I just can't do it right now. Money's a bit tight. No, another red flag. What payment plans do you have? That you guys do monthlies? How does it work? Already assuming they can't pay in full, price is a concern before value is established. This is going to lead to even the payment plan is too much. Okay. Red flag. I've spent so much on programs that didn't work. They've been burned. I don't trust this. Will be different using past failures as a shield. This is going to lead to how do I know this will be different? Leads, so I need to think about it. Need to make sure it's the right time. I wasn't expecting to spend anything today. Usually just comes down to not having the intention to buy because they're window shopping and they're in that research mode also. So they go home and say, I want to think about it, and again, never come back to the follow-up, right? They just ignore. Then we also have, it's not my decision. This comes up with spousal. My husband handles all the finances. That's going to lead to you getting, he said, I can't do it right now. I have to speak to him. I have to make sure he gets it, gives me approval. I need to run this by my wife first. This could be legitimate. Like some of these handle, my husband handles the finances. Like it can be legitimate, but sometimes there's using it as a shield, right? Using it as an easy way out. So you need to test which one. The same with my husband handles all the finances. It might be a test. It might just be something they're trying to shield. So always test it. We make big decisions together, reasonable, but also pre-framing that they won't decide today, no matter what. They're trying to take the frame and let you know, like, yep, this is something that we're going to do. This is going to lead to them discussing it back to you. Then my partner doesn't know I'm on this call. They're hiding this. There may be resistance, or they're doing this behind their partner's back. In some cases, you can flip it if you dress it the right way to show them that they actually will do it for them and they'll make the partner proud, but they have to do this in silence to really take the first step and improve. Or you might get buyer's remorse, refunds request, or they want to cancel. So, last one we're going to go through is the core objection for now it's not the right time, maybe after, no, not ready signals. So, I've got a lot going on right now. This isn't a priority. I don't see it as urgent enough to move forward, right? You're going to get that a lot. This leads into maybe in the new year, depending on the timing, but maybe after work is busy, maybe after my birthday, after this, after that, just pushing off, procrastinating. I want to try doing it by myself first. I don't believe I need expert help yet. I think I can figure it out myself, even though I haven't. They're in denial, living a fantasy. They think they can keep doing the same thing and get a different result, right? That's not the real world. They need to make a change, and they're going to say to you, I'll reach out if I need help later, but they know they need help now. They just haven't accepted it yet. And then I'm waiting until after the holiday, after Christmas, whatever, delaying tactic. There'll always be another event. They're always going to be busy. They're just basically saying, I'm not ready yet, which is always just a mindset thing. You're never ready until you do it. So they need to handle that, or they're just going to ghost us and we won't. Most likely they don't come back. And then I'm not 100% ready. Yep, fear of commitment. They want certainty before taking any risk. We all know in life you take risk and you prosper. That's the only way. So this leads to I know when I'm ready. I'm just not ready yet. But yeah, that never happens. They never sign up. Okay, so we've gone through all of the kind of red flags, what they mean. I'm gonna send over this document so you guys have it. But the main thing is, how do we handle the red flags? How do we pre-handle? So this leads us to the diffuse system. Spot it, neutralize it, close the deal. Detect, spot the red flag, empathize, validate their concern, flip the logic, uncover, and ask the real question, secure, get micro commitment, elevate, anchor to their pain. So what does that mean? Let's show you in practice. The classic, I just want to hear what you have to offer. What does that mean? As we just went through, the collecting information and not in a buying state that this is going to lead to, let me think about it. We want to prevent that. So we're going to diffuse this. When someone says, I just want to hear what you have to offer, you want to say, okay, cool. In my head, I now know what this means. You would say to them, that's totally fair. I want this to be valuable for you. People just browsing don't book calls. They watch videos, right? You're here for a reason. Right? We're empathizing, and now we're into the reframe. Right? We're reversing the logic. So what made you actually take the time to get on this call? Now we're pressing back. We're trying to uncover, see what's really going on. They're going to give you an answer. Now, you only move on to S and E, secure and elevate, only if you truly uncover what's going on. Because you might ask this question saying, what made you actually take the time to get on this call? And they're going to give you some bullshit, right? They're going to give you an answer that is very surface level. If you move on from that section, you will still have a brush the objection or brush the concern, but you have not uncovered it. You have not solved it. So it will come back again at the close. So if you want to get this done right, you don't move from uncover until you've truly uncovered it. This might require asking the question in this different way 6, 7 times, 5 times, 3 times, might be 1 time, but it doesn't matter how many times. You cannot move on until you uncover the true objection. Otherwise, you will get to the close and they're going to say, let me think about it. Once you do uncover it, you then say, if I show you something that works and it fits right, would you move forward today? After you've uncovered it, they should now realize what's really going on because you've then showed them what's happened. They've taken accountability and they've taken ownership for their shortcomings and as to why they're thinking this way and as to why they're staying stuck. So once they've understood it and you present them a new solution, they should decide, okay, cool, yep, I can make a decision today. And then you elevate them by saying, I don't want you leaving this call stuck. Because after going through the whole conversation and uncovering and fighting for them, making them reframe and understand their mindset, you can come from a standpoint as a coach, because you are a coach, you can make them realize that, listen, I've been in your situation before. I don't want you leaving this call stuck because it leads to the same thing that you came in with, and that's not what you want. Let's actually solve this today and let's change your life. We're on the same team. I'm here to help you. Let's do this together. Cool? And then you move on, you move forward, and you become closer as a unit, you become more as a team. And when it comes to objection handling, when it comes to the pitch, as you're now a part of a team, you figure out a solution together as opposed to having friction and fighting against each other. Another example, money's a bit tight right now. They say this during the discovery, right? They're trying to basically take frame and let you know that I'm not spending money or like I'm trying to test for a discount. What are you going to do if I tell you the money's a bit tight? They're testing. So if that happens, before the pitch, of course, we're going to say, I appreciate you being upfront. Most people aren't, which is true. Money is usually tight because the problem isn't fixed. How much have you spent on stuff that didn't work? They're going to mean like, what do you mean? Well, how much money have you spent on programs in the past that you tried and then you didn't continue? How much time have you spent going to a gym and you didn't use the membership? On supplements. Figure out what they've been spending money on. And then once they find that conclusion, they'll be like, oh yeah, to be fair, I've spent a lot of money actually without even me realizing that I've got more money than I actually thought. And then you're going to ask them if money wasn't a factor, would you do this? Right? Everyone should say yes. Should say yes. Now you got to unpack that, uncover it. Why? Like, why would you do this? What's it going to benefit? What's it going to change for you? Really get them solidified and just sold on the fact of why they would do it. And now that they've said yes, you can now agree. So it's not if you invest, it's finding the right way, right? And they're going to agree with that. So if this pays for yourself, sorry, if this pays for itself, would that change things? They're gonna say, the prospect's gonna say, what do you mean if it pays for itself? That's where you can come in and say, staying stuck costs more than money. It's costing confidence, energy, and time you won't get back. So what I mean by if this pays for itself, I mean if you're able to actually achieve the goals that you want and not waste the money like you've done in the past, but you get to lose the weight, feel stronger, feel healthier, tick all the boxes of everything that you want to succeed in your life, would that change things for you? They have to say yes. And then once they say yes, you've got that commitment, you've got that understanding, that reframe, and then you finish it off and you just move on to the next part of the conversation. And once you say yes, it's just like, I appreciate you taking ownership and actually deciding that you're ready to make a change in your life. Because no matter what's going on in your life, you have to make yourself a priority. And you have to fight for the things that you truly want in life. And this is going to make you a better person, a better partner, a better person at your career. Everything you do is going to improve. And the one thing that you mentioned today that is so important is XYZ. And that's why I'm fighting for you here because you deserve it. And I know with whoever you're working with, it's going to be great and you're going to crush it. You got this, man. Let's go. Then move on, right? That is the process, how to diffuse, right? I'm going to send over this document so you guys have it so you can go through the other ones. But it's a clear understanding of how to diffuse and make sure that you're not letting the red flags go undetected and showing up at the close.